The Doc Season 1 finale has brought the Fox medical drama some of its most emotional moments yet. Starring Molly Parker as Dr. Amy Larson, the sufferer of a tragic accident that erased years of her life from her memory, the series follows Amy's attempt to reassemble her life while continuing to work at a high professional level. The series was created by Barbie Kligman, whose past work includes CSI, NY and Magnum PI. One of Doc's defining relationships was the love triangle between Amy Larson, her ex-husband Michael, played by Omar Metwally, and Jake, played by Chicago Fire star John Ecker. Unfortunately for Jake, a chapter in this dynamic story seems to have closed in the Season 1 finale when he caught Amy with Michael. With Doc recently renewed for Season 2, Jake will likely have to deal with the fallout of that emotional moment when the show returns. John Ecker: I was elated. I don't know the proper word. We were very excited. It's a tough industry that we're in, and so for people to respond to shows and for shows to get second seasons is great. A lot of time I'm on shows, and it is one and done. On top of that, to get to 22 episodes, I couldn't be happier. John Ecker: I don't think you actually see what's going on in there, do you? There were different rewrites of the ending, all kind of in the same realm, whether we just see Jake's reaction, we see what they're doing, or whether they're just in the room together. But regardless, yeah, he catches them together. I think it's just hurt. Obviously, Jake has a history with infidelity. It doesn't get explored too much in the first season, but it gets mentioned that he has an ex-wife and dealt with infidelity. So, I think it's maybe a familiar feeling that just hurts. I'm kind of curious about where they'll go with it. Jake is a very understanding person, and while it may take a little while, I think he's going to understand why Amy kind of fell back into Michael's arms, given everything that happened. She's so emotionally fragile that he feels like a safe place and a shelter for her after losing 8 years of her memory, even though that they're not together. Jake's kind of got to understand. Even though we're in love and we have chemistry, and I think I'm better for her than him, she's also, in her head, only known me for a few weeks. It's kind of understandable that she feels drawn to this one thing that she knows in life, so I don't know how he's going to juggle those two sentiments. John Ecker: oh, definitely. And that's going to cause the pain, but at the same time, I think he's a very empathetic individual who can understand where people are coming from. He's going to be hurt by it, but also be like, you needed some solid ground, and he felt like solid ground in that moment. I don't know if that will allow him to necessarily forgive her, but I think the writers did a great job throughout the season with all the characters, making anybody really a bad guy or a good guy. Everybody just kind of makes mistakes, and I think he's going to understand that. With Amy, it's not some malicious thing that he's cheating on Jake. She's just dealing with a lot right now. John Ecker: I mean, either way, they're after hours in his office pretty close together. Whether or not they're making out or it's an intimate situation, that's going to hurt. Obviously it's different if they're just hugging over having sex on Michael's desk, but either way it's going to hurt. It's definitely infidelity. John Ecker: I definitely think that some aspect of that storyline will most likely get explored. Where they'll go with it, I don't know. Sonia obviously has feelings for Jake, but he's been somewhat oblivious about it because he's been blinded by his love for Amy. I don't know if this would be a slap in the face or if something else happens that will make him see Sonia in a different light, and how he'll feel about that. If he'll be interested or not, or if he's just resigned to be single for a while, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll explore that in some realm. John Ecker: it's hard. I mean, if I'm Jake's mom, being like, what do I want for him? I think a somewhat healthier and more stable relationship would probably be the smartest way to go, even though our emotions don't make the best decisions. But getting involved with a coworker who has a family with somebody else who we also work with is definitely not the smartest idea, so I would probably suggest to him to maybe find somebody outside of the hospital and have a little bit of a healthy relationship. But the heart wants what it wants.